Who doesn't love the gentle warm orange glow of tubes? My name is Terry Ellis. I'm an independent audio reviewer from the YouTube channel and website Pursuit of Perfect System. Elite Audio UK have asked me to take a look at a product that they think offers great sound quality and great value for money for their customers, the Octave V40 SE tube integrated amplifier. But are they right? I was keen to find out. Octave are a German hi-fi manufacturer that started back in the late 1960s and 1970s, so a very long history. And I'm very familiar with the brand, but this is my first time reviewing any of their products, and I really wasn't sure what to expect. But a quick look over their website, you can see tubes pretty much everywhere. So I think that signifies the company's, strong belief in tubes as being, the way to go for the best sound quality. And they're big on manufacturing quality as well, hand building all their own products in the factory in Germany, and they even wind their own transformers in-house. An Octave manufacture a broad range of products too, including various integrated amplifiers, pre and power amplifiers, some accessory upgrade type products, and their Jubilee line, which I think is at the kind of very special end of things. The V40 SE is Octave's most affordable integrated amplifier, and I think for several reasons it could be an ideal or a perfect first tube amplifier for a serious music lover and audiophile, but priced at £4,200 is probably unlikely to be your very first amplifier, but I still think it's a great place to start with tubes. It's a Class AB integrated amplifier with 40 watts of power per channel into 4 ohms, and it uses 4 6550 power Pento tubes. And Octave say the amplifier's design is stable down to 2 ohm loads, and that means you can use it with speakers of, average efficiency, and also speakers that are not necessarily perfect in their impedance loads. So that means that the Octave V40 SE can be used with lots of different speakers. You don't necessarily have to use it with speakers that have been designed with tube amplifiers in mind. Installing the tubes is a very simple and easy process. Remove the cage or the guard by loosening a couple of screws. Line up the tubes correctly with the sockets and push them in, and doing so feels very reassuringly solid, which I think is a great sign of excellent build quality and definitely longevity. On the rear of the amplifier are lots and lots of connections, and obviously they are all single-ended line level connections, which is expected for a tube amplifier. Also, there are connections for home theatre bypass, and it's not something that you see on every tube integrated amplifier, and I actually think it's a very nice and modern addition. There are 2 other interesting things on the rear to discuss. Firstly, the black box connector. This allows customers to buy additional upgrades for their amplifiers by buying either the black box, obviously probably given that one away already, or the super black box, and both of these will increase the amplifier's power supply storage capacity by a factor of 4 with the black box, and that costs £990, and by a factor of 10 with the super black box, which costs £2,395, and both of these can be added at any time. The second interesting thing to discuss is the Ecomode, and it's interesting because if you enable the Ecomode and the amplifier doesn't see a signal for 10 minutes, it will throttle down. It will throttle down its power, throttle down its power consumption, I think to about 20 watts, which will obviously reduce the heat and throttles down the tubes for extending the tube's life. And I have the V40 in its Ecomode right now. And interestingly, the tubes are no longer glowing. So obviously it's reduced everything and throttled everything down, but it's keeping the amplifier circuit and keeping the amplifier warm and on. While we're talking about the tubes, one thing that is a worry to me and could potentially be a worry to other new to tube amplifier users is the biasing of the tubes, because if I had to pull out a multimeter and start checking voltages, those would be skills that I would have to learn. But we don't need to learn them with the Octave V40 because they've designed in a very easy to use and clever traffic light tube biasing system. To check the bias for the tubes, you select the input to mode 5 and turn the amplifier on, and you will see a series of amber LEDs that indicates that there's power going to all 4 of the tubes installed. And after a short period of time, you should see the amber LEDs disappear and be replaced by green LEDs if the tubes are biased correctly. If the bias is too low, then the green LED doesn't come on. Similarly, if it's biased too high, then a red LED will come on. And because the LEDs are in rows and because they are above and below each other, like in a traffic light system, well, then you can have amber and green showing at the same time for when you are close to the correct voltage, or probably more useful is to have green and red showing so that you know you are just a little bit too high. To adjust the bias for each tube, there's a little slot and you just insert a small flathead screwdriver and turn a screw. And I have never done this process before, and I would say it took me maybe 5 minutes all in all to bias the tubes perfectly and correctly. And I just found this whole system very easy to use and very easy to do, which I suppose filled me with confidence and reassured me that I've done the process correctly. For testing the V40 SE, I used several different pairs of speakers. From Martin, I used the Parker and the Oscar Duo. I also used the Audio Physics Avanti 35 and the Sonos Faber Sonetto 2. And there definitely was some sound on sonic characteristics of the sound of the V40 SE that carried across all of those different speakers. And I like the sound of this amplifier with all of those speakers, but naturally, its sound and its sonic signature and the way it presents music had better synergy, I think, with some of the speakers than others. And I particularly liked its sound with the Sonos Faber Sonetto No. 2. And I'm sure, some of you are nodding at the thought or the idea of tubes with Sonos Faber speakers. I've already mentioned, I think, a few areas that would make the V40 SE ideal for, someone who's new to tube amplifiers, such as easy to bias the tube amplifiers and the fact that you can use it with quite a variety of different speakers. But I also think sonically in its sound signature also makes it very suitable for audiophiles that are new to tube amplifiers, because it actually doesn't sound too tubey. And you might think, what is the point in having a tube amplifier if it doesn't sound like one? Well, look, let me just reassure you, it's not really what I'm saying and what I'm getting at. There are definitely some, sonic benefits and sonic characteristics of this tube amplifier, which makes it stand out as a tube amplifier compared to solid state amplifiers. But what I mean is it doesn't sound, overly lush or overly warm like some triode based tube amplifiers do. In fact, overall, I would say the V40 SE has a pretty neutral sonic signature, but one that's definitely got quite a big or sizable pinch of sweetness that's being added, I think, from the tubes. And you notice this instantly and straight away with the vocals and the way the amplifier delivers vocals, because they have a very lush, rich, and quite warm presentation that's just very instantly appealing, instantly gratifying, and instantly, wow, yeah, I like the way this amplifier delivers its vocals. The treble has good presence and good detail, and there is a bite to the sound. There is an intensity to the sound of the amplifier, more how you would expect a solid state amplifier to present its music. There is also very good soundstage clarity, very good timing, and a nice amount of, I suppose, immediacy and urgency to how the V40 SE sounds, but never too much. There's always an element of tube sweetness and maybe a touch of tube euphonicness that just keeps the sound just that little bit more, gratifying, satisfying, and pleasing. And I think this aspect to how the V40 SE delivers sound could be the one reason why you would choose a tube amplifier over a solid state amplifier equivalent. The bass in the main was impressive as well, nice and full and punchy with very good extension. I did notice that when the amplifier's tubes were biased correctly, that seemed to give the amplifier better bass control over obviously the speakers that I was powering it from. And I think naturally the amplifier drove and controlled the different speakers of this review differently. And again, I really liked how the V40 SE sounded and controlled and drove the Sonus Faber Sonetto 2 speakers. And I listened to them quite a lot, actually. I did some Qobuz discovery, diving into new albums, and doing this threw up a really nice comparison and contradiction and, challenge for the V40 SE. Listening to Amy Winehouse's Live in London album, which I found to be a very toe-tapping and head-bobbing album with some nice soundstage clarity and some really nice and interesting treble, even if not, I suppose the most perfectly or brilliantly produced album overall. Listening to that and then comparing that to Nocturnal Chill by Disclosure, which is, very much synthetic dance music, and the change in the music, the change in how the system sounded, the change in how music was presented to me, from head bobbing and vibing along with Amy over to very punchy and clear and clean cut vocal dance music, really shows a shift in how a system needs to present music. And I think the V40 SE did a fantastic job of delivering the musical intent and the musical emotion and message that was designed when the music was created. Most importantly, it held my attention and kept me there listening. Overall, I found the Octave V40 SE very easy to listen to, very easy to live with. It's a fairly normal sized amplifier that's not crazy heavy. It's heavy enough, but it's not crazy heavy. It doesn't get crazy hot, and it doesn't cost crazy amounts of money. Yeah, it's immensely enjoyable to listen to with the right speakers, and I think strikes up a really nice sonic balance of doing lots of things that tubes do well and lots of things that audiophiles love tubes for, but without going too far left or right field, and still keeping some key characteristics that we expect from solid state amplifiers. Again, I think that puts it in a quite a unique position that makes it a very ideal or very well suited first tube amplifier for a serious music loving audiophile. And this obviously opens up the possibilities of deep diving into tube rolling, tweaking, and all the possibilities that come with that. As I say, this is a great place to start. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you'd like to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to the Elite Audio UK YouTube channel. If you'd like to see more deep dive and more detailed technical reviews, come on over and see me at the Pursuit of Perfect System YouTube channel. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.